Hey everybody, TBC here. Has it finally been revealed? Do we know what this year's TLP is going to bring? Well, in this video, I'm going to react to the video that Fading from the Everquest show put out today, which is an interview with JChan, Jchan, where we get some information on what this year's brand new servers are going to bring. Now, I did get permission from Fading to put this out there, and link to his channel is down below, so full credit goes to him for that. Fading's content is fantastic, his production quality is very much through the roof, and I do enjoy his videos. Now, let's get right on into it. So here we go, let's get right on into it. I'm here on Everquest show with a video, and he's about to get into the questioning with Jchan about this year's TLP.
Basic side, and that's the TLP and TLE releases. Let's start with the EQ TLP. We're approaching, there's a lot of excitement. I mean, the TLP base is very excited about what's to come. Do you have any ideas on where you're headed for the TLPs for this year? It's a big year, and I think players may be expecting something big. What do you have in mind?
Well, for EQ...
Faded is absolutely right. People have huge expectations for this year, not simply because it's the 25th year. I mean, that's huge in and of itself, but also the last few years haven't created the level of excitement that the previous batch of TLPs did. So they need to do something to keep people coming back, and expectations are definitely high.
We're planning on bringing back our most popular TLP rule sets.
Oh.
Okay, there's a lot in that one sentence. She said our most popular TLP rule sets. Now we know that there's going to be multiple servers, because they've already said that, so it probably means two. There's going to be two servers. With rule sets, that means it's two different rule sets, and some of their most popular. What was their most popular? Mischief, hands down by a long, long way. And what's also up there? Celos and Aradoon are probably the other two big servers. Aradoon's got a little bit of a catch because that was when everyone was at home. So that's the rule sets that they're thinking about bringing back, in my opinion. But we'll get into that at the end.
Oh.
I'll probably leave that there with details, but certainly I can say that we get it. Some people were not there for when these rule sets launched, and
that was a huge thing for Mischief. A lot of people missed the boat. They didn't like the random loot maybe initially, and they didn't start, and by the time they realized how much fun everybody was having, they thought it was too late and they missed it. And I quit in Velius on Mischief, and it's probably my biggest EQ regret that I didn't stick it out with that server, because that server has retained its population all the way through.
Launch and really feel the excitement and the energy in the air of being there at the beginning of these rule sets.
Dark Paul has...
And you know, she's not wrong there. I still think the very, very best MMO experience you can have today is a fresh new Everquest server, bar none, where everyone's starting day one at level 1. It's better if you're doing it with 6 buddies, and you know when you're all going out together, that's a lot of fun. You're chatting away on Discord because it's that social connection that you make, and I've done that before. And also on Oak Quinn last year, I did it where I pretty much started by putting the LFG tag on as a warrior, and I met a lot of new people that way, and that was also a good way to do it too. So absolutely, these servers are very exciting at day one. They have a lot of energy, and they are a lot of fun.
Of being there at the beginning of these rule sets.
Dark Paul has always been notoriously tight-lipped about the TLP rule sets, but at least I could get a feast.
And they have, and that's a bit of it's a bit of a problem. I get why they do it, because if you announce it too early, hype dies down and people complain and change and whine and want this changing and want that changing. But knowing experience with these servers, they often announce them and have to change the rule sets because the community hate it, and it only leaves them with like 2 weeks to change and test it, so it doesn't leave them much time. Personally, I would prefer they launch these earlier on in the year, with a bit more of a lead time on the announcement to get that kind of feedback, but they are very tight-lipped about it.
Feel for the process of how they determine what a rule set could be.
What do you think it is that makes a successful TLP server? What do you think are ones that have done well? Why do you think they do well?
I think the ones that do the best are the ones that definitely lean on nostalgia, but also give people something new to play and something.
Okay, and again, that was a sentence you can take a lot of information from. Lean on nostalgia. Well, what does that mean? That doesn't mean starting in TSS with those zones and that level path. That means starting in Classic with Crushbone, Greta Fay, North Row, Commonlands, those kind of zones. That's where the nostalgia kind of comes from. And there's something new. Well, Mischief with the random loot. You know, that was something new. You didn't have to get a short sword or Keisha from the Ghoul Lord. You could get it in Sol B. Likewise, you could get Ifriti boots in Lower Guk. So it really changed how you got loot, and it made it exciting. Like, you never know what was going to drop, and it kind of screwed up people who were trying to camp and lock down mobs, because really they could drop from anywhere or anything. And then when you think about other servers, Ancelo's that did the lower lockouts and was exceedingly fast and started in Luckland, maybe they'd do something like that again.
To play, and something new and different, or something that changes up that original experience.
How do you think the first to engage
Like FTE?
has worked out?
So with encounter locking, if there's a whole bunch of people all contesting for the same mob, somebody, usually somebody that usually can't compete, is able to at least down that mob and to be able to continue on like their quest lines.
Do you think it's done what you intended to do?
So FTE, we know obviously they clearly like FTE, they clearly think it's working, and for the most part it has been working. As someone that played on Oakwind, it works. There's a few caveats to it, but not a whole lot. It works. Not saying it's the best or the best outcome, because you know, you get a wizard with that instant clicky nuke, they can win 9 times out of 10. The mob spawns in or appears in the world before its model appears, and you know, so people are just getting faster and faster auto clickers in which to engage these mobs. So yeah, there's still some sweaty play around it.
Quest lines.
Do you think it's done what you intended to do, or has it created a new set of problems as well?
I think it generally has done what we intended to do. You know, that was to reduce trains. I mean, trains are practically non-existent now, and to reduce griefing.
So when you come up
to reduce trains and to reduce griefing equals less CS tickets, which means don't need to employ as many customer service people to deal with the tickets or complaints about people griefing and complaining and so on and so forth. So that's probably what's driving that, and they'll know that straight from the amount of tickets for that from Oakwind compared to previous launches such as Mischief or Aradoon. Expect to see FT this year.
you come up with different rule sets for the TLPs, what ideas do you consider? Are there limitations on what you can and can't do within the TLP framework?
I mean, we're constantly considering all kinds of ideas. We read the forums, we're constantly in Discord. We also read non-official forums. A lot of times we're lurking on those.
Do they go to Fires of Heaven? Oh God, if they do.
Unofficial forums. A lot of times we're lurking on those. So certainly the ideas can come from anywhere. And, you know, the limitations, they always boil down to the big three project management triangle, right? Time, cost, people.
Of that triangle, which is your most limiting constraint?
I would definitely say people, right? Because
yeah, they're a small studio. People forget that. It's not the heyday when they were a big Sony studio. This is a relatively small team now that are managing this game. They've got to pump out a new expansion every year, and then all the kind of live content that they're doing now throughout the year, and also innovate a TLP rule set. That's a lot for a small group of people.
definitely say people, right? Because again, 25 years of EverQuest, there's a lot to learn, and very few people have that much knowledge.
Someone who...
So that's the interview and the part that I'm most interested in. As to what I think this server will be, I think it could well be a straight Mischief 2.0. Or it could also borrow from some of their other rule sets, such as Celos, maybe with the reduced expansion time. Maybe it's 4 weeks. Or maybe it borrows from Aradoon with the 2-box limit. Most certainly it will take the FTE from Oakwind, and Viniki, sorry, probably not taking anything from you, although I did really love the idea of the challenge achievements. I still think there will be 2 rule sets. You will have this Mischief clone, Mischief 2.0 if you will, and you will also have this other rule set. Now, whether that's kind of like a Yellowknight standard kind of clone, Finny clone, which we've seen year after year, maybe, or whether I think it's probably going to lean more towards the Cellos with the faster lockouts. Again, thank you to Fading for allowing me to utilize his video and react to it. Give him a view over there and a subscribe, because he does pump out some awesome content. I got plenty more content to come as well, so if you've enjoyed the video, hit that like and subscribe button will tell you the next time I put out a new video. Lots more to come. Also, huge thanks to our channel members. Your continued support really does help me to keep on creating content about this fabulous game. Let me know down below what you think. Is this the right way? Would you play on a Mischief 2.0? Some people say it's the best casual slash dadcore server rule set out there. Others say they don't like the random loot. I'm probably somewhere in the middle. I like the random loot, but I don't necessarily like the amount of loot that dropped from Mischief. I think that was its biggest problem. Do you agree? Let me know. Otherwise, I'm the Brick Nook, and I hope that you have a fantastic day.